Welcome to the Khanyisa Dance Podcast, where we are bringing stories to you of driven creatives who are making their mark in the creative scene. Our goal is to inspire you, to motivate you, and to help you turn your passion into a career. I'm your host, Cassidy.
Dance, dance, lost them all, dance, dance.
Now, today's guest is a creative powerhouse. I mean, when I tell you powerhouse, I mean creative powerhouse. She's a dancer, a photographer with a unique vision, and she's a fashion designer with runway featured pieces, guys. I mean, just do you hear that? Runway featured pieces. She's young, she's ambitious, and she's a thriving entrepreneur. The girl is doing things, and I'm just so happy for Khanyisa to be on Country Dance. Khanyisa,
Cassidy.
welcome to Country Dance.
Yes, I'm very happy to be
I
here.
mean, this is the place for the cool people.
Yes.
If you are on Country Dance, please know you've made it. So, I mean, Khanyisa, just to start off things before we dive into your journey, I mean, what is one of your most proudest I've made it moments thus far in your journey?
One of my proudest I've made it this far moments.
Mm.
Wow. I would say being at the Community Express fashion show. I
Mm.
think that's when I realized, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing with my life.
Wow.
Because of how I've been privileged to have a relatively seamless career. Yes, there's been hard times, but you know when God ordains you to do something with your life,
Mm.
it's not as hard as it should be because you're meant to do it.
Because you're in the right
Yeah,
track.
I feel like, because sometimes I get confused because I'm doing so many things. And it's like, what am I supposed to be doing with my
I
life?
hear you on that.
So I feel like I really felt God's presence in that moment.
Wow, that is such that's a moment, because I mean, when you have those moments, it's like, I should be here. This
Yes.
makes sense to me. I belong here.
Yes,
I mean, wow, thank you for sharing that.
no problem.
I'm so happy to hear that you also keep God in your life and know
Yes,
that
very
that
much.
is the center of everything and that's your compass for everything. So, Khanyisa, we're going to talk about the origins of you. And, you know, and this passion, how did it all start? So, I mean, first up, I want to ask you, what sparked your love for dance, fashion, and photography? Where did this all, how?
What sparked my love for dance? I've been doing it for many years. So I've always loved to dance. I think I've always loved to express myself
Artistically, there we go.
Got it. Artistically, I always love to express myself artistically in any form or medium. So I think with dance, fashion, and photography, all of them started as a medium of expression. So that's how the spark came alive.
And how did you know that you wanted to be so obviously you got the passion, how did you know that you want to be an entrepreneur in the creative scene?
I always knew, even when I was in school and I wanted to be a doctor, actually, I did like sciences and stuff, like I was getting my A's, don't play with me, I was getting my A's. You know,
She's smart
I'm
as
smart,
well.
like book smart and creative smart. Anyway,
Love that.
back in those times, I knew that I don't see myself working for someone. I really like have an entrepreneurship mind, an entrepreneurship mindset. I didn't know what kind of business I was going to have, but I always knew I was going to have some kind of business or be in business in any aspect.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's important because now you're turning that passion into a stream of income, something that's sustainable for you. And we're going to get into that a little bit more later because that's something that a lot of people still need to learn how to do, because we can't just dance and then accept anything that comes on our plate.
I was thinking about yesterday
We
actually.
need to be business minded because we are a brand at the end of the day, and we must know how to make that brand work for
Yes.
us and bring in income for us. So let's just talk about some of the challenges that you might have faced in your journey so far. So what was the hardest part of getting started? Despite like discovering each of your passions, dance, photography, and fashion, what was the hardest part about just getting started?
Getting over the fear of being the best, I guess, or being over the fear of your fullest potential. Because even with social media, for example, sometimes you get scared and you're like, is it even good enough? Oh, let me not post, let me not post. You never know. You never know. Even at this level, sometimes I still struggle with it. But I post anyway because you never know what that video will do for you. You never know how it will change your life. I think, yes, being comfortable is easy because it's what you know, but just go and reach for the stars because you don't know. You don't know what God has in store for you. So just go and get it.
I mean, that's so important because fear really does keep people behind. So we don't start. And that's a lot of what artists face. I feel doubt and fear and feeling like your art's not good enough. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna like. Not everyone's gonna like what you do.
That's true.
But your people who are meant for you will like what you do. Like whoever your audience is will like what you do. So when was the moment where you were like, okay, I can do this for you. Like I can actually bring in bread with this.
Moment I could do this for real.
Yeah.
I think when I started to get gigs and jobs, and then I realized, oh, I can actually do this for real. Yes, because I'm in my final year of my degree, so next year it's gonna be a bit different.
You studying?
Yep, I'm studying.
Oh, what you studying?
I'm doing a BCom in management studies at UCT. Period.
Thank you.
So yeah, I believe you can make money with anything. You just need to be smart about it and know how. And know the right people, because I think especially in Cape Town, getting that information is not as easy. You have to like go through so many tunnels and loops and people, and some people don't want to share, and some people don't want to share what they share is not enough. You know what I mean? Like it's not as easy. That's why I think the transition to get to a certain level is not easy for everyone. You just have to keep on pushing and also know the right people. And a lot of people really care about your image and your brand. Because if people are gonna help you, also gonna look up them. Also, you know, the things.
And that's true. You need to make sure that what you're putting out there is aligning with what you're trying to go for, in terms of your vision and your brand and all that stuff. But I mean, you're doing dance, photography, and you are doing fashion. I mean, all of those things are kind of smart in a sense because you're not just focusing on one thing. Because I remember seeing you at Red Bull. I was like, this girl can groove, she can dance, and then next minute I saw you in fashion, and then now photography. I'm like, oh, she's a hustler. She's doing a thing, and she's not only focusing on one thing. She's like doing multiple things that is helping her. And I mean, I think I just want to understand, how did you transition between each of those phases, like dancing came first? Because I mean, there's some similarities there. I also started with dance, but now I'm in other things like media and all those things. I mean,
yes.
How did we get there? You know? So it's just like, I just want to walk through that transition. Obviously, one thing led to another, but how did you discover that?
With dancing, I've always been doing it, so it wasn't a trend smash.
Yes.
I think with fashion design, I just happened to fall into it. It's not something I consciously decided, oh, I'm gonna start and decide that. I just actually started painting on clothing during COVID because, like, you know, in COVID, like, there was nothing going on, you know,
anything. There's nothing.
So I was like, let me just do designs. And I started posting on Instagram. People were like, I like this. Oh, you like this? I'm gonna do more. I'll do some more. And then I kept doing more, and I realized, you know, I like this, and there's a demand here. People want to buy. So let me actually just turn into a business, because let me get my check. And I used to customize designs. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, that type of vision or that art, that's always something that you were able to do, like drawing and all those things.
Yes, I used to do art in school.
Okay, so that helped.
Yes.
So that helped in terms of being creative when it came to like your art pieces and stuff.
Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting. And the photography was like, how did that happen?
What is the photography? Actually, I got a camera for vlogging because I wanted to vlog my process. The camera I had was a vlogging camera. But then I realized, oh, this camera can actually take pictures. So then I was like, let me just take pictures. Then I was like, this is, I actually like this.
Wow, that's so interesting. I love it. And now it's just like this thing that I want to know as well. You were talking about these art pieces, right? That's obviously unique to you. So what was it like? How did you find your signature style, the thing that made you stand out the most? How did you discover that? Obviously it had to do with a lot of doing things to first discover how. So how did you discover that?
I think the biggest thing for me is I wasn't on Pinterest, or I didn't have any other visual influence on it. Especially when I was starting out, I didn't have that much visual influence. So I think it was predominantly really testing myself and my brain, push my limits and express myself. But I would say it took a while to get to the signature of it where it is now.
That's you.
Yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
And I think hip hop actually, one of the elements of hip hop, knowledge of self, really helped me stay true to myself. Because sometimes you feel swayed, like you see a trend and you're like, should I just
so that I can ride on that wave?
So get another check. But then it's like, am I staying true to myself? Am I going to have longevity just following trends all the time? Because trends come and go. But I want my brand to be forever. So I have to think about that. And just the pride of knowledge of self in the hip hop community. And no one wants to be like the other person. Really kept me grounded and made sure that I'm unique and I am myself. So shout out to hip hop.
Period. Shout out to you. Also, is this the thing that helped you in each of the elements that you use? So photography, fashion, and okay, that's so important because I remember with speaking to another guest, they mentioned that stay true to who you are. And I mean that advice, I've been hearing it all the time, and it's so real. Be authentic, be you, because there's no one else like you.
Exactly.
There's nobody else like you. Stay true. So, what do you think makes your work different compared to like others that is currently in the industry? Let's just talk about the fashion and let's do the fashion and the photography. How does that what makes you different?
I think what makes me different is the fact that I'm willing to experiment and I'm okay with the work that I'm producing because I know the vision and the visual of what I'm trying to do. And also feel I'm very every day I wake up so grateful that God has gifted me with these gifts because it just comes as something that comes naturally to me. It's really easy. I don't have to think for too long. Because with other things, I'm sure other people also struggle. You struggle with other things. You're like, why do I struggle so much? And then you do something else. I'm like, this is why I struggle with this, so I can be great at this other thing. You know what I mean? So
that's the thing. There is no straight line when it comes to your journey ever. Like, I feel like for me, if I hadn't done dance, I probably wouldn't have known that I could also do presenting.
Exactly.
Or that, dance kind of just sparked everything, and I feel like that is also similar with your journey. Dance was there, it's always been there, but it helped you in your other...
power into other avenues.
I love that. Entrepreneur, come on.
Both of us. We doing the thing. Don't play.
And I mean, even you're studying at the moment, so I mean, that is amazing because you're upskilling yourself all the time. So, how did you, what was your first major opportunity? Because we were talking earlier on about how gigs were happening. What was the one that was like, yo, this is big?
Major opportunity? Yeah. The one that I really remember first of mine is the Red Bull dancer style when they hit me up to be on the tour. I was like, I literally haven't even been battling that long. And you want me? Okay,
How did that even happen? They contacted you?
Yes.
Wow. They obviously saw your stuff and they saw that you were creative and they were like, we want this girl.
And I was like, I'm literally so young. At first I was having a crisis because I'm like, I'm literally so young. I don't know everything about hip hop. I'm just a girl. I haven't even taught that many classes. Like, will people even perceive my knowledge as knowledge?
Yeah.
Will they take me seriously?
Oh,
but then I thought about it, I'm like, there's a reason why I have this opportunity. There's a reason why I'm here. I shouldn't beat myself up. Like, I should just embrace and enjoy this opportunity.
Yes. And what was one lesson that you learned from that experience?
One lesson I learned from that experience
that stuck with you.
One lesson I learned.
Or any experience, depending on the opportunities, like whatever opportunity also came. What lessons have you learned?
And you should persevere, even in those hard times. Because even like the days coming to an event, like maybe the fear or like not knowing what's gonna happen and stuff, or you're tired or whatever. But just keep on pushing, and then once everything works out, it works out for a reason. And once it's over, you just realize, oh, that planning was necessary.
Wow, I'm just like, I'm loving this journey. Like, I'm just so inspired by you, honestly speaking, because I've seen your work on social media, and literally I was speaking to someone the other time, and your name came up, and they're like, this girl, she's really doing things. I'm like, oh yes, I've seen, and I've seen your dancing first, and then I've seen you going into other avenues, and I'm loving the style. Like when I see your work, I can see, hey, this is Khanyisa's art pieces, this is our fashion pieces, and I'm just so like, I'm inspired by your journey, man.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that, turning that passion into the business side of things, because this is very important.
Yes.
This is a very important thing. So monetizing your talent and your skills, right? How did you turn your creative skills into a source of income?
First of all, I would like to make a disclaimer that none of this is easy. So if you're struggling with this, it's okay. It's not going to be easy to find your cost and to find your price, because not everyone talks about their price, or you might hear a number that doesn't make sense. You're like, I can't eat off of 2 rand an hour. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, does that make sense?
It does not make sense.
How am I gonna get home? Like, forget the service. How am I gonna get there? How am I gonna get there? You know what
I mean, realistically speaking.
So you need to actually like first calculate your expenses. For example, calculate your transport. How much does it take for me to get there, get back? Can I eat? Can I pay my rent? You need to calculate all those expenses first, and then your service fee. Service fee, I was thinking about this yesterday. How much is the actual service fee rate as a dancer minus transport and all those expenses?
You need to, because you need to think about the time and the effort you're putting into preparing. I mean, whether it's a class or you're preparing choreography for whatever dance gig that's happening. That's service. That's the service, because that's work that you're actually putting in. So you need to first start there. So I remember I had a situation where, because I do private like dance, I've been like one-on-one dance tutoring, and some people are just like, why are you charging that?
Exactly.
And then I have to break each cost down, because those classes are tailored to you, so it's very specific to your needs. So I have to now figure out, how am I going to do this, and then I've got to prepare those lessons for you, and then I must get to you. And then if we don't have a space, we need to get space.
Hire that too. There's another cost.
There's another cost. So all these things, I mean, even when I get my traveling, I have to break down why I'm charging this much for fuel. It costs money to get to places. So those type of things can be helpful if you understand them for yourself. What is a service fee and what is all in there. So that when people want to examine you, you're ready.
You can explain. So make sure that also you write it, have it in a document, having it written down. In case someone questions you, you can just pull out the paper and be like A, B, C, D and explain.
There you go.
And also make sure that you're confident and stand your ground. If you say I'm charging this much, that is that much. Unless the negotiation makes sense, unless the collaboration makes sense, you can't collaborate forever. You can't. You can't eat on a collaboration forever. If the collaboration makes sense with mutual benefit.
When that's making sense for both of us.
If there's mutual benefit, then it makes sense. I'm not against collaboration because I do that a lot of times, but it should make sense.
We can't collaborate and we dip clothes on our back.
Exactly.
It's not going to.
You know what I mean?
But collaboration, like you said, it makes sense when it's
thing,
a joint benefit type of thing. And also, let's move on to the next one. Because I think people underestimate that, honestly, really, like underestimate the fact that you gotta know your prices and have it down. And be confident, you also said that. Because I remember for myself in the beginning, people used to cross question me a lot about why you're charging this. And I used to sometimes bend the rules. And then I started to realize at some point, but I can't even afford my petrol now. I can't even, the amount of time I'm putting in doesn't make sense to the amount of money that I'm getting in. So that is when you become really tough and really like cutthroat, this is it.
Exactly.
and I'm sticking to that.
But I'm not gonna say I don't like collaboration. Collaboration is good because you get to work with other people.
True.
You get to network. You don't know if you work together nicely or not. You don't know what kind of project you're gonna make. So
100%,
collaborate, but not
100%.
at the cost of your own income.
There we go, there we go. It needs to be like my one teacher used to tell me, my dance teacher, when you take risks, take calculated risks. So 100% I agree with what Khanyisa is saying. So what advice do you have for creatives who are struggling right now to make an income with their art?
Sure, what advice to have
Or their passion, sorry, art passion.
To be honest, even sometimes I struggle because we're in the creative industry, there's a gig economy. It won't always be a regular income. There are seasons where you're gonna get jobs and you're gonna get gigs, and then there's seasons where you're not gonna get money. So I think number one, make sure you do have another source of income so that you'll be able to support yourself.
True, very true, very true.
And then if you're struggling to make money, but it really depends on your target market, unfortunately.
There's a lot of details in that, right?
Like I can't really give a straight answer to that.
I hear you, but I mean, I think because when it comes to dance, there's a different way you market that. Fashion, there's a different way you market that, as well as photography. There's a different audience for each one of those things.
But I will say your brand, to answer actually, because now I don't answer.
The brand,
Your
yes.
brand, maybe you need to think about rebranding your business and see what am I doing right. Like do a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yes.
So you see, what am I doing right? What are my strengths in this? What are the weaknesses? What can I fix? You know, what opportunities can I get? You know what I mean? What are threats to my brand and my business?
100%.
So then you can start from there and then be like, okay, what can I do to improve this so that I can
100%.
get the money, get everything that I need.
And that journey is everything but easy.
Yeah.
It's everything, it looks nice. Oh, this person that flourishing, boom. It's not easy.
It's not easy, guys.
It's not, because you have to, you need to have that, like you said, that other, maybe a part-time job to sustain you while you can still make money on the side with your other things. I mean, till eventually what you're actually doing, what your actual passion is, becomes your main source of income.
Yes.
So there's a lot happening. I mean, the fact that Miss Ma'am makes it look easy tells you already it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy, guys. But
It's not
just having the resilience,
It's not easy.
and don't be afraid to ask for help if you don't know.
Facts. And I mean, when it comes to, because we're still young and we learning a lot of things, don't be afraid to ask for advice
Yeah.
from people who you know you can trust, who have the wisdom and the knowledge to help you, like in your journey. Like, oh, don't ask for help, please just ask for help. Don't go by yourself and and think that you know all the answers, because there are going to be things you don't know. So you are business minded now, because you said, oh, I got this thing, I can make income from this. What mindset, how did that help you shift from, because there's a lot of things that you are doing, right? And sometimes it can become a lot. So in terms of your mindset, how did you go from just creating? I mean, you said you started in COVID, you were just creating, but then you decided to shift and say, I can turn this into a brand. How did that mindset shift? What helped you shift your mindset?
I think I realized the demand for my work and how much time it takes, and I was like, I'm not willing to just pay someone thing for free because of how long it actually takes. So I was like, I could actually charge for this. And other people are doing like customizations, I think, as well. And people were charging things on Yaga, and I was like, I can also do this. I can also make an income, So yeah, I think also what helped is my dad also is in business as well. So I think it's in the genes, my family genes. You know what I mean?
It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I can relate. Same. And I mean, I think when you have someone that's on your side that can help you recognize, you could actually turn this into something else that helps motivate you to
That's true.
push yourself to that point. I mean, despite all that hardships that come with it, but I mean, at the end of the day, what I feel like it just makes sense because it's fulfilling. So you don't mind going through what you need to go through to make it work for yourself, because it's fulfilling and you know that this is where you need to be, and this makes sense for you. So how do you balance being an artist and an entrepreneur? Because they can't be, sometimes it can be a lot. So
Try balancing both. I think they just come with each other.
yeah, they yin and not.
But I understand what you mean, because when you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to think about demand and when people actually buy this. So it's a little bit restricting, in terms of actually creating something very intricate. But especially now in the photography sense, it's not as bad because I'm just taking photos and editing them.
Yes.
So it works hand in hand. But with
what they do
but
is
with the fashion industry, it is a bit more challenging because of the demand and people maybe not being able to afford
that type of fashion.
Yes.
And also, it's the thing of like you say the fashion and the photography go hand in hand because you create your own pieces and then you take pictures. Now, is that not now like a specific type of photography? Or you're able to branch out to different types of photography?
Yes, there's many different types of photography. It depends on the creative idea and what the client is requiring from me. You know what I mean? But I love being on set. I love working with people. I don't mind, bro. Those ideas, bring them here. Let's work together. Let's make it happen. You know what I mean?
So I mean that is quite interesting because now you've got fashion, you've got dance, you've got photography. This makes up Khanyisa, this brand, and that's amazing. And there's a lot of elements in each thing that you have. There's different ways that you have to navigate through them to make it work. But they work together.
Yes.
They just flow cohesively, and I think that's the cool thing because that's what creativity is. When you're an artist, you're a creative entrepreneur.
Exactly.
So you're able to move in a variety of spaces where it still makes sense to what you are doing. That's cool, man. So we want to talk about pushing through any type of setbacks that you had and overcoming those setbacks and pushing through feelings of doubt and feelings of fear. So what has been your biggest challenge that you faced so far in your career and how did you navigate that? How did you push through that?
Biggest challenge I faced so far.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge I faced?
I mean, every day.
Real. I think the biggest challenge I faced is maybe giving a price and then having to negotiate down, depending on how badly maybe I might need that money at the time. So I think with age, because especially when I was younger, I was easily influenced because I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I'd be like, this doesn't sound right, but okay, I'll do it. Like, I'll get the exposure, I guess.
Exposure, love it.
And I'm grateful for the opportunities, but I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that I can't just keep negotiating down like this. I have to, and also your positioning in the market matters. So if you keep negotiating down, you'll be known as that girl that negotiates down and can get something for free from you. Do you know what I mean?
See, and then that's how your name will be out there.
You need to hold yourself to a standard, even if it comes to the cost of that one bag. Even if that bag was a little purse. But
charge.
Yeah, because there's costs and expenses that need to be covered. So if I'm not even breaking even, then like it just doesn't make sense financially.
You know how sad that is because I was at this moment before and I'm looking at the finance, I'm like, yo, you can't even draw a salary for yourself from that really because you've got other overheads to cover. So, I mean, you need to consider everything. I mean, and that is true. You have to help withhold that standard right there. So people know, okay, this is what I'm going to get when I'm talking to Khanyisa. I can't get anything else.
Exactly.
This is it. And it's amazing because now people know that this is your standard, this is the quality of the work that you put in out there.
That's another
And
thing.
because I mean, for the pair of Adidas, I'm going to see it's 1.5 for a whole tracksuit, but I'm going to buy it because I know it's quality. And they're sticking to that.
Speak on it.
You know? So the same with your brand. Stick to that, and that's how the respect for your brand will come and that appreciation for, because your art pieces are unique. And you can't actually put a price on it.
Yeah.
Because it's so...
It's one of one.
It's one of one. So that's really cool. And then what keeps you going when you find those moments where you're like, yo, it's tough now?
What keeps me going when it's a bit tough? I won't lie. I think also like last year, like the beginning of the year, I really losing motivation. I was having this really bad creative block. I was like, what is happening actually, guys? But what kept me going was, I don't know, just continuing to do it. I don't know why I was still wanted to do it. Like I was still hungry, and I didn't know why because I was having the craziest creative block known to all of mankind.
Sure.
But I just felt like let me just continue because
Yes.
it brings me peace and it makes me happy. Because
Wow.
doing a commerce degree is really stressful.
I can imagine. I mean, is it like your final year?
It's my final year.
So fourth year.
Yeah.
So it's giving honors.
Mhm.
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to balance because you can't be in campus also like all the time.
And it's very tiring, but once I have this degree, I'll be very happy. And now that I'm older, I'm seeing the benefits of having this BCom degree. I'm saying, okay, at least now I know the business, I know the company law, I know these things.
Wow, of course.
So,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I'm at a better positioning. Like education is such a privilege. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, and to study
Upskill.
and upskill yourself. Do you think that everyone should go study? If you're
You know, it's a case by case basis, but I do feel like if you have an opportunity to do business course or something,
Do
it
it.
doesn't have to go to UCT.
Yes.
Just do something so that you know business. Because for me, it really hurts when I see someone with so much potential, but then they keep getting played because they don't know that they're being played, or they don't know how to not get played. They don't know the rules.
They don't know the rules.
They don't know the
You know,
rules.
like,
And then there's some agent that's out here trying to exploit them, and they sign a contract. They didn't even read the contract. They were too excited. Now they're bind. But now they
Yeah.
legally bound to the contract, and they can't get out of it because you signed, you consented.
Exactly. Your signature is there. There. And I mean, it's really important to go do a course, something in business so that you can understand how to cover yourself also when things go wrong or when things don't make sense. So you can also come to the table with knowledge, because when people see you don't have the knowledge, they will use words that confuses you.
Yes.
And you can't actually back yourself up if you don't know.
Exactly.
So that's good advice. Upskill yourself.
Yes. And upskilling, you don't have to pay. There's YouTube. There's stuff. There's ChatGPT. If you don't understand something in the contract, just copy it.
Put it in
Paste,
there. There we
send.
go.
It will
break it down.
It will break it down for you nicely. So make sure, please, make sure you read that contract, and you're not under time pressure. It's in the law. You have enough. You shouldn't be rushed to sign into a contract because then it wouldn't be a valid
That
contract.
is a red flag if you're being rushed. If you're
It
being
won't be a
rushed.
valid contract if you're being rushed. Take your time, even if you have to take it home so you can go read it. Even if you send it to your uncle that's a lawyer for him to break it down for you, do that.
Do what you need to do to
Yeah.
protect yourself.
Because you need to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into.
It's true.
Because I see that too many times.
I've also seen times where we two say we friends, for example, and we both have our own plan going, and we decide we're going to collaborate, and then the collaboration happens, and then nothing gets put on paper in terms of who the intellectual property belongs to, who gets what, especially when money starts coming in, and friendships get broken up, things go sour, and especially when you're introducing a contract onto the table. I mean, this is advice I always give. If it doesn't matter if you're friends, have a written up document that stipulates every person's obligation in the collaboration.
Yes.
So that if anything happens,
Exactly.
things go sour really quickly. Especially when it comes to creative work. And people want to claim this, you want to claim that. So those type of things, upskill yourself, know what you have the right to do, and know what is your responsibility in every type of partnership or collaboration. If you're coming into a business or whatever, you need to know.
Yeah.
And you need to know. You need to protect yourself. It's a cutthroat world we're living in there, guys. It's cutthroat because they will have you. Yeah. If you don't know.
Exactly.
So Khanyisa, since we are still on this topic of giving advice to aspiring creatives, people who are struggling to just make sense of what they need to do, what's one piece of advice you wish that you had when you started your creative journey?
Piece of advice I wish I had. Yeah, like I said earlier, you don't have to collaborate all the time. Make sure that you do prioritize getting some money. I think that's the advice that I wish I would have got. Because I genuinely did not know what I opened a business, but
you weren't.
hello.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So I think also having a business coach and a mentor is very important.
That's very
it's okay to not know, but get someone that does know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can actually like elevate and go in the right direction.
So true, so true. That's important because, like we said earlier on, we don't know everything, and we need someone there to guide us and to help us make the right decisions. So sometimes we got soft hearts, and we're like, we just wanna collab because
Exactly. Like, oh, like, you know, I'm helping, or you know, this is for a bigger cause and stuff like that.
But
So it really depends on the situation and
it really does depend. It really does.
But the point where I'm at in my career, I don't mind it, but it does take a lot of work to produce some work.
But it must make sense in both journeys.
Especially in the financial situation we are as a country.
Because
It's
it's
not
taxing
easy anymore. Yeah. Like, but I remember back then, like, you know, it was easier, much easier.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a job, like a normal 9 to 5 job where you got a stable income, then I guess doing things for free, helping collaborate, wouldn't be as much of a strenuous matter because you still have food on the table that's happening. You know, you can still pay your rent, your lights are still on, whether you collaborate or not. But if you want to make that your main source of income, then you have to be selective.
That's true.
Because you don't have to collaborate with everyone, because not every collaboration is meant
To happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's the journey. But what someone who wants to follow in your footsteps, because I'm sure there's many people who want to do what you are doing or on that journey as well. What's the first step someone should take if they want to follow in that footsteps that you are in now?
So, but I'm in so many places. The first step is believing in yourself.
Thanks.
Because sometimes there will be people that are doubting what you're doing, and they're doubting because they don't understand. They don't understand, they've never done it, or maybe they did it and it didn't work out for them. They're just projecting their fears onto you. So just start and believe in yourself, because there's going to be times where you even doubt yourself. You know?
And look at that happens.
So many times, and then people are like, yeah, I told you, that's why you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't, but just keep on going. Because you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know.
And it really helps when you stay true to where you are and what you want to do, because that's gonna help you push through those times where people are doubting you. Because I mean, Kanye dance didn't just.
Exactly.
It wasn't just. It was a perseverance thing where you must believe. That this can. You must see the bigger picture.
Exactly.
If you got that vision,
it will help. It will help.
It will help. So Khanyisa, quick fire question. So the previous guest that I had, I put him on a timer. But I feel like the question that I have prepared for you, I don't want to put you on a timer because I actually I don't want you to stress through questions. But answer them as quickly as you can. Huh?
It's like a general knowledge.
It's not about you.
Okay.
That's not you. It's all about you. So whatever comes first in mind.
Okay. Just say it.
Just say it.
I literally just woke up, so I'll try my best.
Okay. What's one song that always gets you in the zone?
Ooh, Daniel Caesar song. Any Daniel Caesar song. Best part. It just gets me moving. And Tyler. Okay, basic one song.
The next question is, if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would you pick?
Tyler the Creator, number one. Tyler the Creator.
No.
If you would see this Tyler, I'm here. Please give me a chance.
No, but it matches your vibe though, in terms of
It's
aesthetic.
so unique and
Yes.
yeah, we should
Definitely.
work together.
We should.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna happen. Tyler,
You see me?
what's the best advice you've ever received so far about being a creator?
The best advice I ever received. I think be yourself, but also be smart about it. Yeah.
Use your brain.
Yes, use your brain, but be yourself. Be who you are.
If you had to pick only one, dance, fashion, or photography,
That's unfair.
which,
That's not a big question.
which one would you pick between the
I
two?
think I'll take a shot.
You'll take it.
If I had to choose.
Yeah, between one.
Fashion.
Off the dome. Fashion.
Fashion. I love fashion. I love fashion.
Hi guys, look at the film
Dance
today.
has fashion in it. Fashion has fashion. Photography has fashion. Everything has fashion.
Fashion, everything. So you pick the right one.
I love it here.
if there's one thing what's one thing that people assume about you that is just so wrong?
One thing is people
Just
assume
say
about
about you.
that I'm not a nice person. I think because they think because of what I'm doing. No, I think because they haven't met me and they see what I'm doing on Instagram and
Oh,
then the stigma
shit.
of creatives being standoffish and like having an ego. I think maybe people assume I have an ego. But I'm just so like relaxed, guys. I'm not a threat, I promise. If anything, I'm an anti-threat. I should become a threat.
I'm with you on that. Like, I need to become a bit more.
I need to become more rough and serious. I don't know.
But I never assume. Okay, but I mean that could be.
Because you know me.
I never because whenever I saw you, you've always had the smile. You're always very open and welcoming. So I've never. But I guess if people view you on
Don't
social
know me
media,
at
don't
all.
know you.
And I don't really post like my personality anymore.
That's good. Just post your work.
Now in 6 years, they're like, oh, she's cancelled because I was laughing too hard. Like,
Or you said something, or you spoke your own opinion.
exactly.
And that's
No, now I'm cancelled. Nah, come on, guys.
I can't be cancelled. I'm just
arrived. Like, hi.
I just started. I mean, yeah, that's so cool. And also, Khanyisa, that's the end of the quick fire.
Okay.
we got through it, and I mean, well done. I didn't put you on the time, but you were still.
I was still.
You were quick. You are within.
I'm within. I enjoyed this interview. It's very informative. Keep on going, girl.
Yeah.
Got a good thing going.
Thank you. But I'm not done with you.
Oh.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
I still want to know more about what's happening in the future for you. What do we have in the bigger picture that's going on, right? So what for future, like I just want to define your success and your future goals. What does success look like now versus when you started?
Sure, what a good
That's
question.
a great question.
What
huh?
a good question.
That's a good question because obviously it changes over time.
Yeah.
And no change for me, but for you, what is it?
Oh, what is this? When I was younger?
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I was so impressionable by everything and everyone.
Like influence.
Influence. And I was like, yo, I want to be like that person. Yo, I want to be like that. I want to be so cool, whatever. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I just want to reach my fullest potential. That's success to me. I no longer want to be like her or him. Yo, I want to be yo. I want to reach my fullest potential and do what God has ordained for me in life and not be swayed by anything else. Just reach my fullest potential. So when I die, if I happen to get hit by a car, God forbid.
Yes.
If I happen to get hit by a car and it's over and it's chai and I die.
You left the footprint.
At least I know that I tried my best with my life.
Exactly.
So I think that is what success looks like.
Wow, that is so real. That is so relatable. It's the same. Same for me too. I mean, now it's just about reaching my fullest potential and seeing how far I can go.
Yeah.
I want to go as far as I can, and
Yes,
that's just
believe
it.
in you.
That's just it. So, what's one major goal? I mean, if you're willing to share that you're working on right now.
One major goal. I don't want to speak prematurely, but I think taking the necessary steps to be able to go to New York Fashion Week one day.
I see it.
Yes. I think I'm very ambitious for that. That's why right now my goal is to get this degree over with. As hard as it is, I just want to finish it and get those good marks. Then I can like really lock in and then be a New York baddie, like out there in New York.
And I mean, if it's there, it will work for
One
you.
way.
Why?
Yes, I do. I genuinely, I literally believe with my whole heart that it will work out.
I think it will. I know it will. Because with the trajectory.
Yes. That's how we go.
There we go. with that you're going with now, it's definitely possible, and especially like with the mindset that you have. Like I want to reach my fullest potential, and I believe that with the passion and the hunger you have, you'll reach there.
Thank you.
It will happen.
It will happen.
It will. And so now, the work that you create, it's for the people. It's for you too. But people are buying the pieces. What do you think, or what do you want people to feel when they see your work, when they see your photography, when they see your fashion, when they're buying the pieces? What must reach the audience?
First of all, it's the storytelling behind it. Because I really care about my work and I really care about the quality. And also, second is the quality. I want you to acknowledge it. You know, there's quality in my work because I do. Even if it takes a week for me to do something, if I have a vision, it has to look the the same way I see it in my mind. And I really, really prioritize quality because I just love things that are well thought out and well put together.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm still growing as a person.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things I could improve on. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do the best I can.
Yes.
Because that's how we should always make work. We should produce at a high quality.
And I like that because there's a sense of respect for what you do. And then as the customer who's buying your pieces, they will feel that and they'll know you put effort into this product that I'm receiving out of your hands. And that is what we want to portray. And that's amazing. So earlier on you spoke about a time when you had a creative block. How do you handle that? What do you do? Is it Daniel Caesar? You just put in a Daniel Caesar song and then there we go? What do you do?
I pray to my Lord Jesus Christ to take my song to clear it.
We need to
be with me during this tough time.
move
It's
these
a season.
mountains.
But I heavily rely on prayer.
So prayer is your key to amazing. And I mean, there's people who will take prayer, they'll use meditation, they'll use whatever. But I mean, for you, that's your thing.
That's my thing.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't know, when I have creative blocks, there's a number of things that I'll do. I'll pray, I'll exercise.
Yes, that too. It's to stimulate the brain cells.
Or sometimes I go to workshops.
Yeah,
Dance
that's a good one.
one. Just to help you
Reignite that thing.
Yeah, like there was a time where I was choreographing for the dance competition and then I didn't know what to put in the dance anymore. And then I went to this workshop. It was called a break dancing workshop. I don't even break dance, but I was there, and that helped me through that creative block when it came to the dancing. But I think if it comes to like the brand overall, there's a different method that you use, and that's great. It's only because God gave me that vision,
Yes, He
and
did.
He can give it back.
Exactly. You take it back,
He
yeah?
can- But He can also spark new ideas when you're
Yes.
having some trouble with creativity. So, final advice and motivation for our listeners. If someone is listening and sitting here and then thinking, "Yo, I want to be like Khanyisa," or "I've got talent, but what do I do?" What advice would you give to them if they're feeling scared or demotivated?
Put yourself out there. Just do it.
How?
Just do it. You're gonna regret not trying. It's better to try and fail than to not try. Because if you don't try, you've already failed. You've already accepted defeat.
And you wasted time.
Done. Career over. Okay, let me not say that.
Defeated, finished, TKO.
Exactly. Just put yourself out there. Yes, it's not easy. I can acknowledge that. Even for me, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to be like, yeah, let me just shrug off the fear. Let me just have the
Yes.
confidence and go. But you don't, until you actually try.
True. And I mean, there's a space for you.
There's a space for you anyway.
There's always space. There's always space for you. Because whether it's dance, whether it's photography, whether it's art, graffiti, whatever, put yourself out there. Take pictures of your art pieces, put it on the IG, on TikTok, wherever. If it's music, put your stuff out there. If you just released a new song, make TikTok videos left, right, and center. Like do things to put yourself out there, because that's gonna help you. And what's the biggest lesson that in your journey that taught you, that has helped actually shape you so far? That's also something that you could share with our listeners.
What is the question again?
What's the biggest lesson your journey has taught you so far?
Oh, the lesson. I know I'm constantly learning new things.
I mean, exactly.
I think the lesson is not to be afraid to be yourself fully, and it's okay to take yourself seriously.
True.
It's okay to take yourself seriously.
Because even if other people don't,
Yeah, just take yourself seriously.
Take yourself
And respect yourself. People only respect you as much as you respect yourself. So you need to respect yourself and be like, no. Say no. It's okay to say no.
girl, that's so
It's
true.
okay to say no.
There'll be times when you get a lot of opportunities at once. You're not going to do it, and now you have to be selective. And it's okay to say no. Not every opportunity is meant now.
Exactly.
Don't have to go
It's okay
now.
to say no.
It's okay to say no. And I think if you implement this type of principles early in your career, it will help.
Yeah.
I wish I did that earlier. I think I would have been richer.
No, don't. Like, God's timing is always right.
That's true.
That's why sometimes when things are a bit slow for me. I used to remember God's timing is always right. You know, balancing school and everything, you have to like sacrifice the career a bit so that you can write these exams and stuff, and maybe you're like, I wish I could be out there making work, but I have to study, you know what I mean? So just trusting God and His timing is right. Because now if everything is happening for you now, will you be paid for it? You know what I mean? God will give you when you are prepared to receive.
100%. Because also in the process you learn so much about yourself and how to respect yourself, how to take yourself seriously, how to say no. All of these things happen in the process, which speaks to why the timing of God is perfect. Because if all of these things happened then, you didn't know what you know now, you would probably not be where you are now.
That's true.
So
I think also having the right influence, have the right influence around you. Because there are some people you're gonna meet, friends or whatever,
colleagues, acquaintances,
they're just not ambitious and they're not inspired and don't have that drive. So make sure you're around people that are ambitious, have that drive, have that confidence, so that they can also lift you up when you're down, fill your cup, you know, and keep you in line. Because now you're gonna dabble in some things you're not supposed to do, and that's difficult to get out of, and now you've ruined your life, or maybe
the chances.
Yeah, but it's not forever, but you know what I mean.
That sometimes we cause our own downfall at some point if we don't.
Sometimes related to trauma, so it's a very difficult thing.
That's that.
But yeah, just try to have good people around you that will help you. Yeah,
that's important. Don't be with people who are not on the same mindset, because you'll stay there.
Yes.
On that level that they are on. So stay around people who can influence you in a positive way, who are also on the same mindset as you. They want to go further, they want to reach their full potential. That's the type of people you need if that's the path you're on. So Khanyisa, I had fun.
I had fun too. Too much fun.
Too much fun, and it is a vibe. Honestly, I feel that what you have needs to be heard. People need to know the journey, the process, because I mean, bam, I just saw your photography online. Bam, I just saw the fashion, but we need to know how did it happen.
Yes.
What was the process behind all of that? And I'm so glad that you were able to share that with us today here at Khanyisa.
Yes, and I'm glad I came here today.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It's a vibe here. And where can we find you? Where can we get your clothing or photography? Where?
On my Instagram page at Khanyisa the Artist, and then there's a link tree where you just press Khanyisa Art for the clothing, and then Khanyisa Cam if you want to book me. Come and book me. I'm gonna make the nicest, cleanest photos you ever seen. Like, don't be shy to book me. Let's work.
Guys, let's support each other's journey. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the community.
This is the community. This is
So
where it starts.
That's where it starts. So let's support one another.
Let's hold each other's hands and take each other to the top. Let's go.
So they can find you on Instagram
And TikTok.
and TikTok.
Same
Same handle.
Same handle.
Go check out the work, guys. It's amazing. You're gonna be shocked. It's beautiful. One last piece of advice that you want to give, anything you want to say to our listeners that you think might be of something for them. She's taking us up, you know, it's gonna be good. She's taking us up.
I hope so, for real. Advice, another one.
I mean, you said so much already.
I know.
I feel, you know, that advice and the wisdom that you shared is powerful enough for.
Oh, and advice, don't be afraid to reach out. Yeah. But WhatsApp me, because DM, there's too many messages there. I won't lie. But if you call me, I'll respond.
Oh, the emails. I emailed
Your email went straight to my junk. I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even see it. I don't know why you went to my junk.
It was just, I don't know, man. But I knew that I was going to take you another way. So I was like, okay, it's fine.
Thank you for, like, honestly, if you didn't message Adright, I was not going to see your email. I didn't even get a notification. Nothing. Zero.
I had to work through it, and I was like, ma'am, just tell Khanyisa, please. And she's like, now you gotta call her. You have to phone.
Yeah.
You know, she's always doing things. So Khanyisa, thank you so much for coming to Kanji Dance once again. As I said, this is the space for the cool people.
Yeah.
So if you want to be on Kanye Dance,
You gotta be cool and
And-
connect to her. Networking. I'm putting you guys on.
I mean, be you. Like she said earlier on, put your work out there. That's how we see you. That's how we see what you're doing. That's how we see your journey. Put yourself out there, and who knows, maybe you'll be on Kanye Dance next. I want you here. We want you here.
We want you here.
Because we want to put you on. We want to put you out there. People need to know about your journey. People need to know who's the people that's making up this arts, this creative scene. Who are the people? So also thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for listening to Kanye Dance. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what's going on here. We want to know what you're thinking. Do you like us? Do you not? What can we do to make your experience better? But thank you, Khanyisa.
Thank you, Cassidy.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who tuned in, guys. Until next time, we know it's always a special episode. And that is a wrap for Kanye Dance. Bye.